Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Today, we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video that I came across. And mind you, before we get into this video, I am going to tell you that I do not have any problem with people's political agenda or whoever people want to vote for when it comes to politics and all that. But when people come out to give you a reason or tell you some certain things, then you can question and I am questioning this person's integrity based on what she said, right? She actually started by saying that a lot of people voted for Obama because he is black. And she went for that to say that a lot of people have not been voting have not been voting, but during Obama's own, everybody came out. Was it because of his skin color and all that? And she went further to say that she would rather vote for Donald Trump than voting for Obama because she knows that Donald Trump was going to do something and Donald Trump was going to impact life and all that. So to her, she was embarrassed of being American, right, when Obama became the president. And they were asking her, why were you? And then she went further to say that she is not a racist. Nobody asked her. Then she said that on her own. But then I really have problem with people that always tell you that I am not this, especially in a conversation. And the other one is like, I want to ask, why is it that people always connect black people, to woke and LGBTQ? Let's get into this.
What would you say if a white woman told you that she was most ashamed to be an American when Obama was elected because people only voted for him because he was black?
For me, it was when Obama got elected, not because of his color, because of the people that came out to vote and did not study things or ever vote in any type of politics or anything. They just went, they saw a color, they voted.
Now we're going to open the conversation. So we're going to go from the I to back to the full circle. And the prompt is just this. What was your reaction or response hearing what other folks in the group had to say?
I gotta go right now. I just have a genuine question. Why do you assume that everybody or most people that voted for Obama did so because he was black, when you also have candidates, Jesse Jackson in the 80s?
I didn't say he was because he was black. I said people who have who didn't. No, I said I do not disagree with him due to his skin color.
And you said that people only voted for him because of what?
They came out of the woodwork.
Why?
They've never voted before.
Then what galvanized them to vote?
His color.
That's skin color. That's race. I'm
not racist.
I didn't say you were. I asked a question. I said, why did you assume that people came to vote because of his race? You watch the news. That's the media.
They've never voted before. They never.
It was my first time being able to vote. So, but why did people vote for Trump? Why did people vote for the other 40?
We need a change.
Before the other 43
Obama did nothing,
white presidents?
that's why.
Why did people vote for the other white males for being the president for all these hundreds of years? I think it's offensive that we say people only did that because he was black, but there have been other black candidates who have run before people did not get behind. You're denigrating a group of people who are primarily African American and saying they only vote for somebody because of their skin color, when in the history of this country, most people get privileges because of their skin color.
That's the predicament I was faced with while being a cast member on the documentary Divided We Fall, which was filmed in 2019 and aired on PBS in 2020. The producers of this show decided to get Americans from varying backgrounds who either voted as Democrats or Republicans in the last election so that we could come together and have conversations on important issues in America to see if we can find some common ground. Now, as you can tell from that clip right there, I was a little pressed and stressed because I couldn't believe that white woman who was sitting right next to me would say something so egregious. But I maintained my composure and I addressed it how I saw fit in that moment. And honestly, outside of that experience, I was able to create bonds with nearly everyone else on the red side, because during that weekend, we were forced to have conversations with each other outside of these devices and social media and the mainstream media. And we were challenged with finding our common humanity outside of those superficial labels. That experience made me realize that we most often make our decisions politically and socially based on how we've been conditioned by the mainstream media, and these algorithms on these devices. More times than not, we make assumptions about people based on what we've seen on these devices, as opposed to actually having conversation and dialogue and lived experience with them. Now, of course, this works best when you have a conversation with someone that you might disagree with politically on the foundation of common humanity, decency, civility, and respect. How much better would our country be if we had face-to-face conversations as opposed to yelling at each other anonymously in comment sections? Because the truth is, united we stand, and like the show's title, divided we fall. So check out Divided We Fall. Let me know how you would have responded, and also let me know if you've ever had conversations like this with somebody.
So, rich white people are divorcing black people in the state of Louisiana. There are two things that I will forewarn you about my opinion on this matter. One, you're not going to like my opinion. And two, you're not going to be able to refute what I'm about to present to you today, absent of emotion. But before I get started today, go ahead and smash that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and smash that bell notification so you know when I go live or when I upload new content. Also, share the video, which helps me get this video out in the algorithm. So recently, the wealthy white residents of Baton Rouge decided to break away and form their own city. This has caused outrage on social media and had gotten the attention of civil rights organizations. But before we get into the meat of this video, let's build a foundation based on facts, not feelings. Was there anything in this new separation that stated that people of color can't live in this new formed city? Well, if that's the case, then we'd be looking at federal discrimination laws, which would override state law. I bet the NAACP is leaving that part out when they're out here race baiting and drumming up support for their Democratic puppet masters. And if this was the case, trust and believe, my opinions would be different on this subject. Now, the second question that I will ask is, was this separation achieved using the democratic process? The same democratic process that black people celebrated when Barack Obama was elected into office, the same democratic process that was celebrated when Jim Crow Joe Biden was elected into office, the same democratic process that was celebrated when these people of color were placed in the positions of power. As admitted by the head of the NAACP in Baton Rouge, this was done using the democratic process. So why are we even having this conversation? The head of the Baton Rouge NAACP also went on to say that these efforts were organized. Well, duh. That's what happens when people are organized. I would pull my freaking pants up and not end up in handcuffs if I only had a brain. Speaking of the NAACP and all of these do-nothing bootlicking civil rights leaders, what do they organize for black people anyway besides marches? I would not have 5 babies, mamas who in public wears pajamas if I only had a brain. And with your so-called black civil rights leaders, what kind of tangibles do they demand, being that most of them are college-educated clergymen, lawyers, and are often Prince Hall Freemasons? One thing I can say about the rich white lawyers of those communities is that they're not organizing marches. They're not having their people demand emotional support from a political machine. And if this divorce was accomplished based on racial prejudice, then why would you want to live around these people? With as much wealth that black America amasses to the point where they brag about it, then why not just build your own prosperous community? I'm just going to go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. White validation is not black liberation. And if this was a move based on politics, which I strongly believe it was, then still, what's the issue? Especially in today's political environment, I know how I want my children to be raised and what kind of environment that I want my children to be raised in. And if I had it my way, I would love to live in a city where like-minded people surround me as well, regardless of race. When you're on the same page politically, things get accomplished that works in your favor. I will use Black America as a good example of this. Not all black people want, nor do they desire the same result at the voting booth. I know I personally didn't care for a holiday or statue of George Floyd when we had bigger fish to fry as melanated people in America. How about becoming organized so that we could police our own streets and run the detrimental elements off of the streets that our children play in? I'm not worried about some Civil War monument being removed when our communities lead in every negative metric from education to incarceration. If I were to lead a cause that addresses the liberation of melanated people, I damn sure wouldn't add every other marginalized group to share the stage with. That only takes away from your core message and defeats the purpose by diluting your original stance. Why and how do you think that the term woke went from being aware of systemic racial prejudice to feminism, LGBTQ rights, and any other cause that the left adopts and pulls out of their hats. And there are only a few pro-black leaders that calls out how everybody else uses the momentum of black people to get what they want politically. And if you ever notice, the only two places that black people are mainly charged to stand in racial solidarity is at the ballot box and in the bedroom. And with the Democrats screwing black people over after every election more than the women that they're in a gender war with, the only thing we see as a result of that is bearing witness to counterproductive racial pride. So I will ask the question that black people won't answer out loud unless they're ready to stand up to shaming tactics. If there were to ever be a city where black people could and would separate from white people, would black people move there? You already know my stance on that one after seeing how Chicago, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. are ran. Here's a question that will hit closer to home. How many successful black people stay in impoverished areas because of race loyalty? See, when we become successful, we don't go move into those trailer parks or broken industrial communities amongst poor white people. We move into those subdivisions and gated communities amongst middle class and upper middle class white people. And let me let another secret out of the bag. Once we become successful, our voting habits change as well, because Republicans practice wealth building and an industrial mindset, versus Democrats only teach panhandling and excuse making. A lot of Democrats surrender their power over to the government, versus Republicans seem to want less government and value their independence. So no matter what political side of the aisle that you lean on, I'm going to ask you a question. Why would you want to live around people and share your vote with a group of people that will vote against your better interests or weaponize the government to separate you from your values? I'm Ricky Manor of the Melanated Rebel News Network. Please be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share the video. Most importantly, leave me a comment in the comment section below letting me know your thoughts. So, rich white...
So this is all I got from this video, and I don't know if I should start with Ricky Manor or what his name is. Whew. I picked something from what he said, and I'm going to run with this particular one. He said that black people are left, we know what woke means. Be standing up or being woke to systemic racism, like, prejudice or whatever going on for black people and all that, or happening to black people and all that. And he said black people left woke fighting for dismantling the racism and all that happening in their community, to being woke to feminism and LGBTQ, right? And I am asking, I really do not see the connection, because I really do not like it when people try to connect black people. See, I wanted to understand that I do not have any problem with anybody that like LGBTQ community. Please get this in mind, right? But why do people always look for a way to connect black people to that? Because I do not see anything I don't see the relationship between fighting for work, or probably fighting for equality, or trying to let people not to be homophobic of some certain things and all that, to black people not being woke, or kind of partially, because to him black people are losing the wokeness and the rest of it. And it's really kind of disgusting that people, a lot of people actually think this way. He's probably not the first person to say this. Like, I have seen so many people saying it, and I think that it's really not right. But some people are just not for black people also, and all that. And I want to ask, why is the flag upside down? Because I know the flag should be the other way. Yeah. Does it mean that there is a distress in his own kingdom? Yeah, it looks like there is distress, Now let's come over to when he said when black people are rich, all they want to do is move to suburbans and probably don't want to vote and all that. Is there anything wrong with people changing their lifestyle or upgrading to something better? Because it's a little bit dicey, but I don't think there is anything wrong with people looking for a way to probably wanting something better for themselves or something good for themselves and all that. Because number one is that I really do not have any fact, or I mean, yeah, I do not have any fact or any proof of what he's saying, but you all can actually, tell me in the comment section, because for me it's an accusation, but for you, you probably know the real truth and all that. So feel free to fill me in on that in the comment section. So let's get into the young man who actually was talking with the colored woman who said that black people voted for Obama because he is black and all that. And I am going to ask who actually told her and where did she get her, where did she get that from? Because I am trying to and why was she ashamed? Because Obama was black. Is that why she's ashamed? So, but it's okay for them to vote Donald Trump with how many indictments, but it is not okay to vote for Obama because he is black. And she went further to say that, yeah, she can vote for Trump because Trump is going to change people's lives and all that. Now, the problem we are facing sometimes is not who is more qualified, because I think it's a world kind of problem and all that. Some people definitely know that someone is not good for them, and still they would rather, they would rather vote for someone they know, or probably someone they share some certain things in common with, or someone they know that he's really not going to do anything, but we are ready to suffer it together and all that, and then turn around later to tell the same black people they do not want to have anything to do with, or the same black people they also do not want to vote for. Because if someone like this could come out to say that that she was ashamed, when they voted for, when Obama became the president, she was ashamed of being American. People like this will definitely go any length to make sure that it's just people from their own side that is winning. And this also boils down to when they call on black people to come and save democracy, because they have been always calling them all the time, save democracy, save democracy. Well, like I said before, and I will keep saying it, there is nobody saving any democracy to 2028, right? If I am correct. So, yeah, there is nobody saving any democracy, because I don't see how some people are so ignorant that they say some certain things without thinking. Because how can you, and she went for the Senate because of his color. So why were you ashamed? She was also ashamed of the people that, she wanted people to study, why they are trying to vote for Obama and all that. But she would not be mad at people that voted for Trump and all that. It's really I think it's just hypocrisy, hypocrites, they are going to do the same thing and do not want you to do the same thing, She is ashamed, but she is going to vote for the other person. It's really crazy, and then she went for to say she's not a red and cis. You all know you are. She is. See you all in my next video. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.